So, and so now his brother gets all the attention now, which,
Okay.
but thank you.
How old's the brother?
He's 13, so they were two old guys. So
Oh,
it's definitely a different kind of dynamic, but we are able to do a lot of different walks as a result because Frank couldn't walk. So we're having some new adventures. But thank you.
okay. Thanks,
Thank
Michelle. Hi, Joe. Hi, Jack.
Hi there.
Hi, Jack.
I'm not live, huh? Am I on there?
Now you are.
Okay. All right. No, I meant audio. I couldn't remember clicking on the switch.
Hey Frank, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Joe?
Good. Good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been quite a while. Yes.
My office is freezing. Okay.
Hello.
This is Ashley. We are live on YouTube. It is 3:00. You guys do have a quorum. So it's
Oh,
up to
we
you
do?
to change. Yes, whenever
Okay.
you guys are ready.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you. So if you want to proceed with the roll call for our environment, education, sustainability meeting today, it's February 3rd at 3 p.m. at our regularly scheduled time to hear legislation referred from the council meeting.
Calling the roll, Ms. Simon,
Here.
Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown is absent at the moment. Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is absent at the moment. Mr. Schrein,
Here.
Ms. Stevens.
Present.
There is a quorum. Also like the record to reflect that Councilman Miller is in attendance.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much. We have a roll call. Do we have public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one has submitted any public comment. And I'm
Okay.
sorry, Councilwoman Brown is in attendance.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was on a call. My apologies. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Okay, so we have minutes from January 20th, 2021. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Brown.
Second, Sean.
Thank you. First and second, all in favor? Aye.
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 Minutes adopted. Okay, so we're going to proceed. We have one item referred to committee, which is 2021-0038. Can you read that, please, for the record?
Resolution number 2021-0038, authorizing an amendment to contract number 78 with the United Labor Agency Incorporated for operation of the Workforce Service Center, Job Seekers and Employer Services, and management of the on-the-job training program.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've got a couple, I think, people to speak to this. One is Frank Brickner, and is Dave here too?
Yes.
Who wants to go first? Do you want to, Frank?
Sure.
Okay,
Good
thank you.
afternoon. Frank Brickner, the interim director at the County Department of Workforce Development, also known as Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland, Cuyahoga County. We're seeking approval to amend our contract with United Labor Agency, increasing the contract by $2,619,463 and extend the contract through June 30th. The source of funding is federal. It's our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funds. We competitively procured this contract through a competitive RFP process. What does this contract give us? It gives us help in three different areas to help the job seeker, either to find a job immediately or to go into career training so they can get additional skills to compete for training. It's also in place to assist employers to understand their needs to try to match talent for their open positions. as well as if they have any needs for training, we can assist with training needs of employers. And then the third area is to manage the one-stop. There are different organizations, education, training, workforce programs in place here at 1910, and it coordinates those activities to try to make a seamless experience for a job seeker as they come in. To date, we are funded on a July through June cycle. We came at first with just a 6-month contract because we didn't know what COVID the impacts would be. We're asking for an amendment for the remaining 6 months of our fiscal year. It's comparable funding as the first 6 months. To date, we have served 2,700 new job seekers, July through December. To date, we also have had 467 job placements. Those are down because of COVID from historical. And I will turn it over if you have any questions now. I want to introduce Dave Megenhart, the CEO at United Labor Agency.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes, Mr. Brickner, if you could just repeat the number served and the number placed again.
Sure. From July 1st through December 31st, 2,700 new job seekers came to us. Those are adults. And we are serving the vast overwhelming amount of them virtually. And through December 31st for 6 months, there have been 467 job placements at an average wage around $17.50 an hour.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. So you wanted any other questions before we pass it along to Dave? Okay, go ahead then.
Good afternoon, everyone. So to put it into historical perspective, generally over I'd say the past 10 years, we have placed approximately 3,000 people per year. So it is significantly down. We're seeing employers that are certainly very hungry, and sometimes frustrated, looking for people and not being able to find them. We're doing our very best to engage job seekers in that process. I think there's a number of factors that have, people that are choosing between going to work and their health. And it's a very complicated equation that they have to, solve before they are, going back to work. I think there's a couple of other factors too. Throughout the first 6 months of this program year, the state of Ohio had relaxed its work requirements, searching for work requirements for unemployment compensation. So in the past, if somebody would sign up for UC, they would come, through us, and we'd be able to help them much more efficiently. When that requirement was relaxed because of the pandemic, we saw a lot fewer people that are coming into our either through our virtual portal or through our doors when they were open. We, to give you an idea, we do massive amounts of outreach. We call everybody that is on unemployment compensation in Cuyahoga County and introduce them to our services. And, this is a live call. It's not a pre-recorded call. This is an actual operator who will lead them through that, telling them how they can access services and what's available to them. Along with that, when somebody goes on unemployment compensation, we also have their email address through ohiomeansjobs.com, and then we follow it up with email and try to do a multi-prong approach, along with having really strong social media presence. The key to it is that we felt is to get because a lot of people that are unemployed for the first time like this, right? This is just their first taste in this, and with the hospitality industry being devastated, it's really located in one kind of sector. So we try to lead them through to say that there are other sectors there. You have transferable skills, and you can go into manufacturing, and these companies are hiring. But it's a process of that in that conversation. So we feel we've made some headway, and a couple of really bright spots is that we have sent a lot of people through training. I think we're over 400 now of people that have actually accessed in our individual training accounts, which is great because if they're on extended benefits with UC, and if they are, they're not ready to go back to work, there's a perfect time for them to upgrade their skills. So when the economy does come back, they're ready and they have newly minted skills that they can, use, and they can really, kind of jumpstart that. So we're really happy about that. We also, during the pandemic, we had worked with a company called Coursera, and it's online training. And this again kind of speaks to how it isn't like people are dropping out of the economy, or that they aren't thinking of it, because this was online training, a variety of courses they could take, all free to them. And we had over 2,000 people sign up for it, and over 8,000 courses that were taken or completed within that 6-month period. So it's like a lot of energy around upskilling, not so much energy around wanting to find work at this point. So I think that, and what we've also tried to do is try to make everything we possibly can virtual. So, we knew how this was moving. We were moving toward this anyway, but it really sped up the process. So all of our workshops are virtual. We have videos of everything on video. Our orientations are on video and on, live streaming. And all of our counseling sessions we can do now through virtual applications, which we'll try to, once things open back up, we'll be able to use these tools now to, I think, reach more people. We'll be able to be in more places because we've sort of really tried to perfect that virtual environment. So, I'll stop there. I could probably talk for another hour or something.
That's great. Thank you. I mean, it's good information for us to know what's happening. It's ever changing. So any questions from the committee about what we're doing?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question.
Vice
One of
President?
the things that I hear regularly is that folks without anything more than a cell phone have a hard time accessing a system like this. It's of major concern when our libraries are just opening back up. Previously, you could go into the library, use one of their computers. And how are we trying to facilitate people getting access when they're afraid to go many places that would have free or no cost computers?
Right. So, well, you want to take it, Frank, or I can talk?
You start. Go ahead.
Okay. So we reopened in July for that very reason, and we outfitted the first floor of the One Stop Center, 1910 Carnegie, to a virtual center, so that anybody, with that very reason, that if anybody that didn't have access to a CPU could come in and use that. We didn't have many people come in for those first, 5-6 months. It was closed again when County Executive Budish and Mayor Jackson issued the stay-at-home order in December, I believe. And now, so we've been closed, for a few months, and we're looking to reopen back on March 1st. The center will be back open with that same access to the resource centers and the virtual job coaching.
I'm here.
We try to make everything mobile too. Like we tested all the applications so that it would work on a cell phone.
Okay.
And then, but I'd also add too that with the county and OMJ, we partnered with PCs for People, and we gave out I don't know how many, hundreds of computers at the point. We did a massive outreach, especially when we first started doing virtual job fairs, right? So that we couldn't have a in-person job fair. So we invested in some software to do virtual job fairs, but that was our big concern. Like, well, if you don't have a computer, then how do you access this? We were able to work with PCs for People and get, PCs in the hands of many hundreds of people, and we still have that access too. So if we find somebody that says, it's not working for me, or I need, so we can get a CPU in their hands.
So I just heard you say that you created an app or the ability to go on your phone and do most of the fill in most of the forms that are necessary.
That's correct. So that we made sure that the application worked in like easily in a mobile environment, because you're right, the phone is the key. The phone is the key access point, right? So everybody has a phone.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that works.
Thank you.
Sure.
I just wanted to add that we are in a city leased building here, and we did go to city leadership. We were very concerned about those who don't have the ability to connect, and that's why we are looking to reopen March 1st unless there's another huge upswing in COVID cases.
I just also wanted to ask, if I might, Madam Chair, Wi-Fi access, because sometimes even cell phones fail and you need that backup Wi-Fi.
Right. So early in the pandemic, we took a page from the Cuyahoga County library system, and we put like Wi-Fi in the parking lot of 1910, so that somebody could, even if they didn't want to come in, they could come in, they could get on their phone or whatever and do Wi-Fi in the parking lot. And it's also available, of course, through the first floor of the building. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good questions. Yeah, great. I mean, you guys are doing, sounds like a really good job at evolving with the times, and probably wanted to do something like this and had to speed it up because of COVID. But I have a couple of questions. One is the amount of this contract amendment. Is this, you said it was similar, the same as the first 6 months of the fiscal year?
Sure. It's a little over $5 million. I just want to mention that included in this contract is money for training to assist employers with upskilling their workforce and to provide supportive services to individuals to allow them to go to training. And that's, I think, about $500,000 to $750,000 right there too. So it's funds directly for training as well as supportive services.
Okay, so what happens at the end of the fiscal year in June? Do you go out to bid? I mean, how long have you had your relationship with United Service Provider?
Yeah, when we went out for an RFP, we follow the directions from the state of Ohio. We can go up to 4 years on an RFP. This is year 2. Starting with year 3, I think we're going to start with an amendment to this contract, but somewhere along the way before the 4th year, there will be another RFP.
Okay, and it's federal dollars, so you're complying with those standards, and we're just here to take a look at what you're doing and appreciate the feedback, as this is just critical, obviously, to the county, is to make sure that people can stay employed and get employment. I hope it gets better, but thank you. Is that Councilman Schron, do you have a question?
I do, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You talked about the training and the focus on what you're doing as far as the number of online classes and things like that. What are the actual subjects you're training for? I mean, the county is working very hard on the sector partnership around the medical community, around the IT, and around manufacturing. I would hope that those are the jobs we're training for, because we're putting our efforts into those sectors. So can you tell me about the hours in the classes? You said how many thousands of classes and things like that. How does that break down, and what subject matters are we teaching for, and where's the content coming from?
Sure.
Do you want me to start, Dave, and then you can fill in? What we do is we pay for in-demand training. That's what our legislation requires. So we are really linking with the sector partnerships, sector intermediaries like Magnet, Tri-C, and the Right Board. For example, we're part of the Ohio to Work initiative, where we, working with Magnet and others, we filled some classes, cohorts at Tech Elevator, and we can code it for software coding. It's a large in-demand occupation. I think we've done about 200 training in different fields in healthcare, RN, LPN, nurse assistants, pharmacy technicians, phlebotomists. But individuals will come into Dave's team. Dave's team will counsel them, talk about what their skills are to match those careers. And if we can assist them to get in an in-demand training, from my perspective right now, I don't think there's anything more valuable we could do for an individual who lost their job in like hospitality or something and may not have a job to go back to kind of counsel them to say, hey, here's your skills. They may translate into, nicely into this field and that. So I'm hoping that, our system can train 800 to 1,000 individuals by June 30th. And that's not just our contract with United Labor Agency. That's the county scholarship dollars you generously give us and some other TANF dollars. But we are really focused on manufacturing, CNC, welding, IT, I mentioned software coding, web design, but we are really trying to link with the sector partnership initiatives. We partnered with Magnet to do something manufacturing access, where we're assisting individuals with a reentry background to get some additional skills with employers at the back end who will hire them. We're funding that. So those are the things that we're trying to do to assist job seekers get additional skills to get employed. Dave, do you want to add?
I was just going to add about the online Coursera courses that this is a initiative that's been put together by Google. So they have this wide range of, it's almost like lynda.com, the kind of the same idea. And it's predominantly IT and business administration or just sort of professional type classes. And it can be from for the most part, they're like people from universities and professors that they do these coursework through Google. And it doesn't necessarily most of it doesn't lead into a certification like our traditional ITAs are. But what's nice about it, it's like supplemental. And it can be also exploratory, or it can be something that it can be taken in conjunction with the traditional individual training account. So that's why it was exciting through the pandemic that we could add this sort of like extra capacity, and you could see in the future like this is going to be the predominant way, right? But it just expands like what we can do. There's obviously going to be always hands-on. I mean, that's never going to change with that. But I think that was my point, that it added to the fact that there was so much interest to it. Really spoke to me about like how people were positioning themselves for the new economy.
Just because we're focused on these three sectors, I just wanted to make sure that we're not preparing them with generic type information. We're preparing them with classes that would go right online with the medical and the IT and the manufacturing, because that's what we've identified as a county. Those are the three job growth areas. I think hospitality will come back someday, but it's going to be a while before that comes back.
Right. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Councilman Schron, that's it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to make sure it sounded from Frank that we were focusing on those three sectors.
Yeah.
Because we're putting a lot of our time and money in as the county, and want to make sure we're on parallel path.
Right.
And Frank, just briefly, can you reiterate the intersection of the scholarship county funds through our college education program and how that impacts what you're doing? Just briefly.
Sure. Let me give you an example. Dave's team, may get a job seeker who comes to us and the individual may not qualify for funding, under the Federal Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, but they're a county resident and they're in need. So Dave's team may refer them to our individual we have on staff who can assist them to get a county scholarship. Same procedures. We're looking at demand occupations, registered good schools, and that we can get somebody into that program. Or, someone else may refer directly, maybe an individual is working, doesn't qualify again under WIOA, but here's a pot of money to help an individual get upskilled to a career they will succeed in. And those dollars allow us to serve about 100 county residents each year.
Do you think you need, as time goes by, are you leaving people behind with the scholarship money? Or are you pretty on target?
I think it will remain to be seen. The run rate we're going through training dollars, I am concerned down the line. We've asked the state for additional WIOA funds and we got them. So that was great for training. And we're going to keep having our hands out. But at the run rate we're going, training's expensive. I mean, we can pay up to $8,500 in an IT career, $7,500 in healthcare. It's expensive, but I think that we will continue to make our ask for our friends at the state. And if they don't have any more, then I may say, oops, we're going to be tight with our county scholarship funds.
Okay, thanks so much. I think our president has joined us, President Jones. Hello. For the
Yes, I'm
record.
here.
What?
I am here.
Yeah, I know. I just announced you. Thank you. Do you have any questions, President?
Not at this moment.
Okay. So does anybody else have any questions or comments before we go forward? Okay. I see that we're already into February with this amendment. Do you think it's wise for us to ask for a suspension?
That would be great if we could.
Why are we here? I mean,
we started this amendment process in late September, October. We are a small department, and my folks who put these things through have many, many duties besides being experts on Infor and putting things through. And I just know there were things that happened. I don't know if it was just on us or whatever, but it just delayed. But we'll try to be more timely. I thought we were starting at a good spot, but we ended up later than I had hoped.
it's not so bad. We're early February. Are you part of the ERP system?
Yes.
Okay, well, we understand that. So I'm going to recommend, make a motion that we move this to the next full council meeting with a recommendation of approval under suspension, second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we appreciate your time and all the work you're doing, and we'll be seeing you soon with the scholarship funding accounting. So, okay, thanks. I don't have any miscellaneous business. If nobody else does, we can adjourn at this time. Am I forgetting anybody else have anything? Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Good seeing everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Stay safe.